welcome to the picnic.
Thank you very much.
And, I mean, you mentioned it's not your side of town, so I feel quite proud that I'm taking you out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, well, I like coming over here to the Meadows is nice, isn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful, yeah.
As I was saying, I had to come up the Royal Mile and face the drama students. So
exactly.
More difficult.
I think if you come up here a lot, you learn the alternative routes, just to avoid that, because it's a short little road.
Well, you know that Edinburgh's famous for the underground tunnels. That was originally built in the old days to dodge the drama students at the Fringe, so the locals could get around.
This country is built around avoidance. Yeah, no, it's mental. I mean, just being flyed left, right, and centre.
Well, I did the other day when I was walking around. Just in general, I just went, I'm going to take a flyer off everybody. I'm going to put it in my pocket, and I'm going to look at them later on. And I literally, combat trousers, I had no room left in my pockets.
And did you look over it?
I did look. I looked at every one, and I honestly, not being cynical or anything, I didn't see a single show that I would go and see.
Oh, really?
And I'm the kind of person that sometimes just opens the brochure and goes like that and goes to see something. And of all those flyers I got, I didn't see anything that I wanted to see.
Wow, I mean, was that around a sort of drama studenty area, or was it?
Yeah, not particularly. There was all sorts of things in there, and I think everybody's. I wish I was the guy that had the business that made the flyers. That's where the money is. It's definite.
He's the only guy in August who's making money. Yeah.
You see him at the top of the Royal Mile just laughing.
On top of Arthur's Seat. He's the guy that owns Edinburgh. Yeah. Now, I didn't know this about you, but you used to be part of the circus.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah. You were one of them.
I did. When I was younger, I was in the circus, and then I broke my ankle in a training accident. Yeah. And while I was off work, somebody said to me, you know, there's a comedy club in Manchester, and it just opened. There was only 2 in Manchester. And in those days, I knew Dave Gorman when he used to be a poet before he was a comedian. Okay. He was a poet, and I knew him just vaguely, just to say hello to. And I said to him one day, "There's a comedy club somewhere here, isn't there?" And he said, "Yeah." And I had a broken ankle. And I went down, and I phoned them in advance and went down, and I actually did a show. The first time I was ever in a club, I did a show.
Oh, wow.
And I just thought, oh, this is great. And then I kind of did both jobs for a while, and then it was just too much. It was literally working day and night. And then I thought, oh, I'll give comedy a go for a year and see. And I think that's about 20 years now.
And you haven't looked back?
I haven't looked back, I still do some of the circus stuff.
So, I mean, what did you do in the...
Oh, when I was really young, I was a juggler, but like a kind of straight juggler, like to music and sort of Vegas style. Yeah, Vegas style tricks. And then with the circus stuff, you have to be quite diverse because it's such a difficult field to work in. Yeah. So as I went along, I would sort of pester the older guys and learn what they did. And so I've got like knife throwing acts and unicycling and all sorts, bed and nails, all sorts of stuff.
Do you still keep it up?
I don't practice anymore, but I do it sometimes, which is a bit dodgy when it's a knife throwing act, to be honest. But I did it just recently. I'll do there's a comedy club for kids.
I know,
Tiernan runs. And I'll do some circusy stuff for them this festival.
Well, it's strange talking to jugglers. I think even if you don't juggle anymore, I think some people have a certain sort of at one with the world when they're juggling. It's kind of a happy place, maybe.
I see what you're saying. For me, I hated it.
No?
It was, when I was a juggler, I used to do 4 hours practice every day. So I always think of it with the Olympics on, it must be like these young gymnasts or whatever that their parents made them do it and they had to do. And so for me, it's very much work. I don't look at it as fun.
I see.
I wouldn't come to the park like those guys and
just for a laugh.
Yeah, no, it's not a laugh.
But I suppose there's a certain kind of feeling of family about the circus. You know, maybe you miss or
no, not so much because I still see a lot of people that I worked with. Yeah. And I could still go and do that if I wanted. You know, it's only a phone call away. That's I haven't completely. I don't think you ever completely detach yourself from it. So yeah.
So, but I mean, your style of comedy is quite. It's not so much of a piece, is it? Because you play with the audience so much. Have you always done that? Is that something?
Yeah. Well, the thing that I try to do is to engage everybody, and so. In a big venue, you're trying to just look at in every area in the venue. Yeah. In a small venue, you're trying to look everybody in the eye, and then the extension of that is you're trying to include as many people as possible. But the mistake that people often think with my stuff is they think that it's not a script, but it is a script.
You've tightly written it.
Yeah. It's all written and it's all all the jokes happen the same every night, but the interaction with the audience. So the trick is putting it into the audience so they think they're seeing something unique to them. But really, it's, well, you know yourself that nobody's improvising a whole show. There's apart from Phil Kay, there's nobody comes and improvises a whole show. And you know, probably me. Maybe I improvise 2 or 3% in an hour.
Wow.
The rest of it's all scripted, and yeah.
But I think it's a testament that people think that it is all coming out of the audience. You know.
Well, I don't know if the audience knows, but I know it's always when I come here and you get reviews. Reviewers never see it. They never see that it's scripted. I've even had somebody recently. I won't name any names, but I had somebody who'd seen me loads of times, quite high up industry type, and they said to me, "Oh, that was really lucky that you had that Spanish girl in the audience." It's not luck, is it? If it wasn't a Spanish girl, it would have been something else. It's not luck. It's
They think it's just the Spanish girl was dependent for the whole show.
Yeah.
All came from her.
Yeah, that's it. Her saying she was from Barcelona made the whole thing happen. Yeah. But I think even if you look at so like Phil Kay, who I really like, but he, in order to get a good hour, because he does improvise, he does 3 hours, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He does a mammoth long show to get that. I think even, you know, nobody's improvising for whole shows anyway, and you know, it's good that people think. It's flattering that people think I am, but I'm definitely not.
There has to be something there. Something prepared.
Well, especially at this as well, because it's such a big deal, isn't it? Coming here, and people have got such high expectations.
You wouldn't chance it.
Yeah, we can't. So normally, when you're a new act, you can go out and just muck around. And once you become a headliner, you've got expectation there. People have paid money to come and see you, and you can't. You know, you can muck around a bit, but you can't let them down. It's got to be. Yeah,
you feel responsibility over them having a good time.
Yeah, especially like these days, because everyone's skint, aren't they? So somebody's paid money to come and see my show, and I just go out and I'm self-indulgent and muck around. It's terrible, isn't it?
And you want them to come back, you know, because you were at the stand last year as well, weren't you?
Yeah.
Were you doing stuff before then as well at the Fringe?
What I did, I used to come up. I came up for years.
Yeah.
And apart from the very, very first year, the first year I came, I did a show with Robin Ince and Lucy Porter, and we were in the Cafe Royal. That was all of our first experience, and that's a long. I was like, I don't know when that was, 95 it might have been. It was a good while ago.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, I always came into the stand, but I took a few years off, and I hadn't noticed, I hadn't thought I would lose any momentum with it. But I've noticed this year that I've got momentum again, so I think I had lost some. Because this year I'm seeing a lot of people that are coming back and going, "Oh, we saw you last year." So there's definitely you build up a bit of head of steam with it, sort of thing.
There's a fresh sort of influx of energy and people. And
well, yeah, and now I'm looking at it in a different way as well. When I used to come up, it was I'd come up with that particular show. And that show had never anything to do with my stand-up. It was a complete separate thing.
Okay.
Now what I'm doing is every year I'm trying to write a new hour. So the hour's in the club set all the way through, and then then it's ready when I bring it to Edinburgh. And then so I'll tour this show in the autumn, tour it till Christmas, and then January scrap it, brand new show, start again. That's brilliant. It's working really well.
So Edinburgh's the focus of everything.
Just like the deadline, like just the deadline to get you work. You know. Otherwise, you end up with hundreds of notebooks of stuff, and you've never done them. You know, lots of it never gets used. It's just wasteful.
Yeah.
So when you have a goal at the end of it, it kind of it forces you to go to a deadline, really.
But also, I think it's so healthy to drop all of this good. You know, it's good material, but force yourself to go. No, I'm doing new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was the thing I heard ages ago. I heard a thing by George Carlin, the American comedian who I really like. And he said you've got to write an hour every year. And then recently I heard Louis C.K. say the same thing. He'd got it from George Carlin, write a new hour every year. And I thought, well, I'll do that. I'll try that and see. And
yeah. Well, I think America's catching on to that now, because we've had Edinburgh for a little while. The hour is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are catching on to that being a good model.
Yeah. I actually think an hour and a half is the right length of time, either in 2:45s or one straight through.
Okay.
That's the perfect length of time for a solo show.
So will it extend when you do your tour?
Yeah. When I tour it, it'll extend. And here, obviously, the constraints of Edinburgh mean you get slightly less than an hour, don't you? Because you've got to get out before the next people come. And but I think about an hour and a half's the perfect time, and an hour's a good time. And Yeah.
But you'll show up here. What's the name of the show?
It's called A Man You Don't Meet Every Day.
A Man You Don't Meet Every Day, which is you.
Yeah, which is me. Yeah.
And it's at the Stand 2.
Stand 2, 10:08 every day.
10:08.
So you can meet me every day if you want.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for coming to the picnic.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You can have a biscuit if you like.
I pass on them at the minute. I'm trying to eat healthy at the minute.
Very polite.
So, yeah,
thanks so much. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.